Hello, we're here. Sorry, we were laughing. Hello, we're here to shock and amaze you with manifestation talk. How is everyone doing?
Oh, good. Very good.
Are you ever
Good.
bad though? Do you ever do have a bad day?
Not very often. No.
Do you just mind control yourself into a good day?
Yeah, like Lumiere said, it's all about controlling your mind.
Yeah. Do you ever have a bad day, Lumiere?
Yes,
Yes.
but it's all up here. I can have the same things happen on Wednesday that happened on Tuesday, but it will affect me differently.
Interesting. Yeah, so much of this manifestation work is about controlling your thinking so that and our Course in Miracles work that we do too is a lot about like seeing things, seeing the magic and miracle in things as opposed to not seeing. It makes me think of John Cena, the one of the professional wrestlers I've been studying, and it's like he has this perception coin. Shane showed it to me. It's like he said if he's like too into himself, he looks at one side of his perception coin and gets humble, and then if he's not if he has bad self-esteem, he looks at the other side of the perception coin and he like gets back to like good self-esteem. Like there's like all these like perception checks that we can do to like keep ourselves in. But do you guys think like if you're happy every day, like do you have a problem with Jay-Z being happy every day, Lumiere?
No, I probably don't believe it, but I don't have a problem.
Really? That's like when someone never fights with their boyfriend, you're like, I don't even believe you're together. You don't ever even have an internal conflict with yourself, Jay-Z?
Oh, well, sometimes I do get kind of bummed out about like something that I don't that I wish wasn't like it was, or confused about something. And then I guess I will, when I think that that's happening, try to, like you're saying, like prune those thoughts. And like I have so many things around me that I enjoy doing, and I have this list of things that I just haven't even gotten to yet. So I'll distract myself by getting myself busy with something else, and then I forget about like being bummed about something.
Hmm. I just saw
That is
the guy at
pretty.
the pool who told us to watch Bob Proctor. He's
Hmm.
my pool crush. He works there. And he was telling me, he was like, because the Bob Proctor video is about like having this winning image of yourself in your mind. Like whatever happens, you see a winning image and then you go back to that. Well, then he was telling me about how that there's this whole thing where we have all these thoughts and your mind can spin out, but you don't, then you're not your mind. Like that's the second part of manifestation is like you're not your mind. Is like if your mind's spinning out in a bad direction, you're supposed to basically divorce yourself from your mind spinning and like say like, I mean, I don't know if that's part of yoga, but like, and I was like, yeah, the Buddhists say that you have like thousands of thoughts a day, and like you should let them float away on a cloud if they're not a good thought. And like a person is who which thoughts they adhere to. So like, how much do you guys think that manifestation theory has to do with what you choose to latch on to and what you choose to let float away?
Well, according to what we're reading, I believe that it's all about what you latch on, that you control what you latch on to. And the excuse me book says that we're trained all wrong. We're trained to look at what doesn't work and what we don't want and all that stuff. I think um, to not latch on to that stuff is to grab onto the things that you want. But
Yeah.
that's really tough for me. I grew up with the house mantra was that'll never work. So, and it probably is tough for everybody.
We are not latching onto that thought. That thought can
Right.
piss off. Sorry, I shouldn't swear in a dress. I actually think this manifestation is like number one, don't latch on to negative thoughts. But the second thing is create a really awesome picture. Like it's not just like have a regular thought. It's like create like the most dream like thought and then perseverate on it. And like, don't you think that it's like It's like
Yeah,
two-tiered approach.
right. No, I think you have to have a good vision. So if you want a $3 million house, you can't say I want a $3 million house. You have to picture yourself emptying the garbage in a $3 million house.
I'm not latching onto that thought. I'm
No, no, you know what I
myself
mean, though.
swimming in the pool. Yeah. But no, I get what you're saying. You have to like imagine yourself in the house doing all these
Yeah.
things and
Oh yeah. Yeah, all the everyday things because that's your house and that's where you live. And I was talking with some friends the other day about manifestation, and we were also talking about like mind control or like how you control your mind, and we were talking about in the context of pain management. Because when I had this toothache the other day, because my friend was saying like you can control your mind to do anything. Like you, even if you're in pain, you can say like, I am not in pain. And I was like, I don't know, because that one I tried the other day when like legit we are in these bodies and I had had this cavity and then it got drilled out with a filling and the nerve was just too close to the thing and it really hurt and it was really keeping me up at night. And I tried all that I could to be like, oh, my mind, thank you for the signal of pain, but really it's okay. Like I'm not actually in danger. And it kind of it still hurt. But then it was that thing like and my other friend said, well, it seems like your mind has like this threshold of pain that like if your tooth is hurting but then I smash you across the face with a 2x4, your tooth will stop hurting because something else will be hurting,
What about
so
your tooth
Because
hurting?
the tooth will get knocked out.
Okay, so I'm thinking about your tooth hurting versus someone getting a tattoo, and it's like that pain in the tooth is telling you get this tooth fixed. Like it actually has a message for you, which is fix tooth, fix tooth, fix tooth. And so like you can't just like yogi it away because your picture you keep getting with the pain is like I need to call the dentist tomorrow in the morning or like but whereas if you're getting a tattoo, there's like nothing to do about the pain. Like is there a difference between those two?
Well, I'm not sure because this happened on a Friday night and I called the emergency dentist and they said, "Oh, we'll take care of you on Monday." And I really had to get through Saturday and Sunday with my tooth really, really hurting. But again, it's this thing like, well, for one, I went to the store and I got some ibuprofen, which really helped. And for two, I was trying to tell my mind like there's nothing to do till Monday. So it's like, don't ruin the weekend. Like, really, I can't do anything about it. Thank you for the signal. And all I could do was be like, all right, I'm gonna busy myself to and it's true, like if you get yourself busy doing something else, you forget that your tooth hurts.
Don't prioritize it, I think, in your head. I mean, unfortunately, when you get if you got a message on your phone that says your tooth hurts, you could just push the button and it would go off. But you don't really get that in your body.
Hmm.
But I have a maybe similar situation. I don't know, where my knees are both shot. The warranties are gone. They're just a mess, and I don't know when, if ever, I'll be able to do anything about it. I'm having an ablation in February, but I'm not sure if that will help. So I just decided that I am not going to think about this pain because it could be a year before, and it's been 2 years already. I watched a couple of videos about how to live with chronic pain, and I took a few things from those, and I decided that I was going to do everything I wanted to do and not walk as if I was in pain, not stop riding a bicycle, although I haven't much. I go up and down stairs that look like submarine stairs every single night and just do what I have to do. And so, sure, they hurt, but it's not that I made the pain go away, but I incorporated it into my being so that it doesn't supersede everything else.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't
like,
go
it doesn't
down the
affect
stairs
your
thinking,
queue. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, I'm not moving this up the queue as an important thing. Like, it may still be a sensation in my body, but it's not important or urgent. So I'm just gonna,
right,
hmm,
right. It's important, but it's not urgent.
yeah.
But I don't want to live.
Hmm.
And I found myself going down the stairs in the morning. I don't want to do that.
Well, that brings me to page 129, where she says in the
That's weird.
book, you can have inspired action or fear-based action. And we're supposed to not go to a fear-based approach of living. And they do this in AA and all recovery programs is like get you away from fear into like appreciation and gratitude or whatever. So what's wrong with fear around pain? Like, was there fear around your tooth? Was there fear around your knees? And is that somehow detrimental and why?
What page did you say?
129.
129.
Well, I don't know if this answers exactly your question about the fear around the tooth because it really was painful, but it what the solution was to move to something that was joyful instead and to be grateful that I could do those other things. Like I would, put on some music and do some yoga instead, and then I forgot about the fact that my tooth hurt. So I do think it's moving towards gratitude and away from pain or suffering or whatever.
Hmm. Is there, Lumiere, do you have fear around your knee pain?
I have a philosophical fear of immobility, which I've had for a really long time. That it's not a feel, but I'm aware of it, a fear, but I'm aware of it because I knew people back in the day who were the age I am now, and they had mobility issues, and I thought it's the one thing I don't want to lose is my mobility. So I have fear about that,
Hmm.
but it's more philosophical. It's not. I don't feel like I'm not going to be able to walk tomorrow. I just want to make sure that I can walk.
So
So
what's,
it's odd also that the thing to do to help the knee pain is to walk more, builds up your legs.
mm,
So those two things are in conjunction with each other.
interesting. My cat is in a fear-based action right now. Can you hear him? He's afraid,
Now,
he's afraid of being
fear
alone.
of not being fed.
And the fear of not being held. He likes to be close to me. Okay, so, well, okay, it's like, okay, how can we move through the philosophical fear around your knee pain into inspired action? Like, it sounds like you're trying to move it down the queue so you can still be inspired and maintain an inspired life. Like we don't want to let the pain take us down out of inspiration, right? Like, so what does that look
Right.
like to move through pain into inspiration?
Well, the real answer is, of course, I don't know. But in the manifestation theory pieces that I've read, and I've going back and forth between two books, they talk about the fact and also the secret that however you get the thing that you're looking for, can you can try different paths, but if you start thinking about it, how you want it, it will eventually you'll start doing something that will lead you to it. It may not be direct. It's not quite like I want a bowl of cereal, so I'm going to go get the cereal. But if you start thinking about a bowl of cereal, sooner or later you're going to do something to get yourself a bowl of cereal. So
Like the
I,
grocery store.
yeah,
It's so literal.
or downstairs. But
I
Oh,
just
so
I just
the,
draw a bowl of cereal. Oh.
and
when you just manifest a bowl of cereal,
Yeah, I just make it out
then
of
you
clay.
eat the
Oh.
paper.
What?
but
And then you eat the
so
paper.
I wanted to be able to live with my knee pain and not worry about it. And I wanted to function the way I would function and not have that be the predominant thing that I'm thinking about. But in the process of doing that, I also I had a genicular nerve block about 4 months ago to see if um, ablation would work. And I'm getting an ablation in February. So I'm doing what I need to do to make it work. So what I'm and is that manifestation theory or not?
Hmm.
Oh,
Because those things will be
absolutely.
happening.
That is absolutely true. That is manifesting.
I was gonna say it's handling your cue, which allows you to move things off the cue and get back to whatever's inspiring you, pushing up in your inspiration factory, like we definitely don't want things to hover that are blockages to the inspiration, wheel of inspiration. Like yeah, like okay, so like illness, here's one, astrology helps me a lot to stay in inspiration and stay out of fear. Like for example, everyone if you're sick, they spend the day going to the doctor and all this stuff and it's like what we believe in astrology is like it's just a transit, right? So I've already handled the philosophy about the sickness. I'm like, "Oh, it's a celestial movement coming through and it's like whatever, there's a reason there's heat moving through my system or whatever." So like the why has already been handled for me, so I don't have to stop my inspiration day and go to the doctor. Like I'm like back to inspiration. I'm sick. I'm still inspired. Like I don't even care. Like I use astrology a lot to remove blockages from inspiration and stay in the this like celestial avenue of constant growth. That's I don't know. That's how I handle things like that. But like, of course, if I broke my arm, we would have to stop production and go to the emergency room because that's the highest in the queue and like it's blocking everything else from moving up.
How would that work with, say, a chronic illness?
Well, we would Well, it depends on the situation. Like we would handle the chronic illness. Most chronic illness is seen in the chart, so we would handle it one cyclical transit at a time. We'd be like, "Oh, we're having a flare of lupus. Okay, that flare is being indicated by this transit." And then like we just handle well, we don't take the flare so personally. We're like it's flaring right on time celestially, so we're just like we're in a flare. Like people are stopped by their flares. I'm like, you could just be inspired through your flare. I don't understand why a flare up of XYZ has to stop you. It's like people are too wrapped up in their suffering sometimes. Like it's like that's all they have to do or something. I don't know. It's like but I'm not trying to judge. I'm just a Christian Scientist, right? We believe in thriving spiritually, and that's an extremist view, and I understand that. But that's why I'm here to talk about my extremist view is that so maybe it can help someone else not be blocked from inspiration. But I'm not
Mhm.
denying that other people have hard charts with hard flares, and I get that. My chart flares constantly. I just handle the flares. So I don't know.
I can say what I did with my tooth and this toothache problem with manifestation because I actually am following that other book, The Script the Life You Want. And I write my, well, I call them now decrees instead of wants, every morning. And then I write the fake journal entry that you had it like as though your day went perfect, that you're writing it at the end of the day, but you do it in the morning. Anyway, so I was writing things in my journal like, I called the dentist and they were able to get me right in and they were able to take care of my tooth it was not a problem. They were able to, like get me right in and take care of it. It was really easy and painless. And I wrote like those things in my, manifestation journal. And as it turned, and that I think did free me from worrying about like, oh no, like on Saturday and Sunday, and like what was going to happen on Monday. I was like, they're just going to get me in first thing in the morning, and then they totally did. Like they called me back. They're like. They set something up for me to come in, and then she called me right back, and she's like, "Oh, wait, we just had a cancellation at 8 o'clock. Can you come in then?" I'm like, absolutely. So I came in and they saw me right away and uh, they were just gonna yank the tooth out because it was a wisdom tooth anyway. And so they, said, come back at 2:30, we'll do that, or whenever the dentist time was. And it was really no problem. And I don't know, it worked out
That
okay.
sounds very much like manifestation theory that you leaned into it and then the the world did its work and you got a call Monday morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think hard things happen to manifestors. It's just how they approach the issue versus somebody who's more of a negativistic thinker, right? Like a negativistic thinker might be like, why do I have a bum tooth? Things
Right,
always happen to me. Like I'm like life is horrible.
right,
Everything's bad. You know,
right.
and that's not what a manifestor would do,
No,
you know.
that right. Oh, God damn it. Why this? Why me? That kind of
Yeah. So it brings us to our next point on page 129, where she says you're supposed to operate off guided inspiration. What does that mean to have guided inspiration versus just inspiration?
I don't know who's guiding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
guided
what's the
by who or what?
context?
Guided by who?
Well, what about like the ancient occultists would say you're guided by your daimon or your highest self or your oversoul or your spirit guide or what do you guys think of that guidance?
Well,
Well,
I
I like,
subscribe to the intuition thing that we all have intuition because that's like our, sixth chakra. And that like when our energy and chakras and everything about us is working well, then we trust our intuition and for good reason and because we're in touch with it. And yeah, that's what I believe. I believe it has to do with like your own intuition and trusting it.
let's see. How about that? I mean, uh, trusting your intuition is has it's related to me to an overall confidence. A general confidence that you may have about trusting yourself, your thoughts, everything, and trust. If you trust, ding, 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 then you get the intuition, and that's another thing to trust, which is probably a deeper level than the first things. And this is the second level, third level, or whatever. It makes perfect sense to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that because like one of the things about manifestation is like I was talking to a friend about it the other day and I was like, it's just as easy to manifest richness as poorness. And he's like, yeah, but it's less attainable. And I was like, okay. Well, and Fern's really good with this where she makes the picture of what she wants and she says it's not up to me about how I make it happen. Like in manifestation, you're supposed to have the vision and then just let
Right.
like the guidance of intuition, I guess, take you along the path to get there, right? You're not supposed to be like, how am I going to get my $2 million house? You're just like, I got a $2 million house coming. And then you let intuition, there's something guiding you along the manifestation process. And I think that's the question here of like, if you have this image, what, how do we traverse that road, to
Yeah.
it?
Which also implies that you have to be open to it. Like, here's this thing going on. Is that manifestation is part of my manifestation? Is that the thing that's going to guide me to the result of my manifestation?
That's a really good point. Like you have to be open to, because JC, don't you think that's a lot of how scripting works? Is like, if you script something, then your mind becomes attuned to noticing anything that takes you towards that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's true. And I think like we've talked about before as well, like you kind of have to work with your vision a little bit too to kind of keep tweaking it. So it's like something happens in life, you go forward a step in that direction, and then you realize, well, I don't want to go exactly over here. I want to go more over there. But like, and I think there's an art to leaving it vague enough that life can provide it and specific enough that you can vision it. But again, I think this also gets to envisioning the wish fulfilled or feeling the wish fulfilled, and what can you feel?
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
the
The
emotional truth of what you want, not the exact manifestation outcome. Sorry, Lumiere, I didn't mean
right.
to.
No, no, I interrupted you. I'm sorry. But the uh excuse me person was talking about um uh, Lost it. Sorry, it'll come back.
Yeah, I mean, I think being guided a lot, it suggests a submissive quality, or like you remember that one video we talked about having the lunar yin quality of manifestation, where it's not all about pushing and pushing and pushing. It's like you put out your intention and then you like go out and receive you know what it's like it's almost like a submissive quality to manifestation where you're like, okay, I have this vision, but like if a person tells me something that pertains to my vision, I listen. And if I have a dream that pertains to my vision, I listen to that. And it's like it's like being open, like Lumiere said, to receive, but it's not just about like pushing and pushing and pushing your vision. It's like you're kind of openly being guided towards it.
Yeah. To me, it also seems like um, tuning and focus work together. For you to tune into it, as you said, and then to narrow your focus so that you're not distracted by anything else. You know,
A lot of it's about like this, not this. Like if you're trying to
yeah,
do the $1 million house, do these things, but don't waste your time on these things.
that's right. Yeah, so if you want a $3 million house or a book deal, you just start looking at that, and you have to ignore like an RV that's for sale, or a beach house or something.
Yeah.
Keep focusing on your thing. And I think that's hard for us because, especially now, we're really tuned to being distracted.
So then she says that there's this higher frequency that you can live in. And then she says instruction books always accompany inspiration. So I guess like a lot of times we'll have like a vision, but we're like, well, what's the instruction booklet to get there? And like that's I mean, do you guys think that instructions will be given you? It's like sit here and wait for the instructions. Like like will the
Yeah.
universe always give you the instructions or no?
It's like the people at the bottom of the mountains, like, hey, Moses, let's go. We're waiting down here. No, I think they'll come to you in some way that doesn't have anything to do with time when you're ready to get that. And I think that's related, for me, that's related to inspiration. I think you can't say, well, I'm going to be inspired at 2 o'clock. There's just a
You
certain
missed
time.
last episode where we talked all about being inspiration on cue, like that you're supposed to be able to like have this fervor of emotion and resurrect it at will, basically. But
Yeah.
no, I think what you're saying is like the timing is up to God, essentially. Like it's not or creation itself. Like we can't force a manifestation to happen in our own timing. And what they say in biblical terms is that do what you can now see, and more will be revealed later. Like so, you do everything you can do towards your manifestation now, and then something will be revealed. Remember our band, Constant Revelations? Like you have to wait for the revelations.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think they come all from all over the place, and uh like you end up talking to friends about things, and then they give you advice, or you see this or that has to do with whatever your subject matter was. And at the same time you have to have discernment to like know which leads to follow and which one's not, you know?
I think yeah, I think that's true. And I think there's a membrane that you can't see that connects everything. And when something that seems coincidental happens, it's because the pathways from one part of the membrane to the other part of the membrane light up, just like the neural pathways to the brain. And here's a stupid example, but out of the blue and for no reason at all, I ended up at Kate's ice cream Saturday night. Had never been there. I didn't know it was there, but I was at Mendelssohn's and then went for ice cream. And that was open. It was 10 o'clock at night. There's another person I work with who coincidentally came in and said, "Have you ever had Kate's ice cream?" Today, they said that to me.
Wow.
So there was a path, some kind of a path between this person and I that we shared this. So I can it be coincidence? It could be, but many of us don't believe in coincidence. I
Interesting.
think that one of our membranes vibrated and that vibration went out to the other person. Some part of our membrane vibrated and out to the other person.
Yeah, I mean, you could chalk that up to that. What is it when you, let's say you get a Volvo and you start noticing Volvos everywhere? Like, what is that called?
I don't know, but I know what you mean.
But like that could be part of manifestation. If you write in your scripting like I want a Volvo, then you start noticing Volvos everywhere. And
Yeah.
that's maybe part of the magic.
And if right, that's if you say Volvo, you're thinking Volvo and you're imagining Volvo. And then you see Volvos everywhere because you're imagining Volvos.
Yeah. So that yeah, that's a psychologically proven um tendency, right? Like so
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
do think that has something to do with you're asking yourself to tune into Volvos or you're asking yourself to tune into a magical Christmas or whatever it is that you're manifesting, right? Like, you know.
Yeah.
So she says, okay, um, we're supposed to flow positive feel good energy and implement the inspired ideas coming in as a steady stream. So like let's say we're manifesting, we're like, I want a magical Christmas. You're like, oh, that's towards a magical Christmas, implementing that. Oh, and another thing, implementing that. Oh, and like you're not supposed to be like implement this. You're supposed to just be like constantly flowing towards your thing, like
Mm, mm.
just harnessing like a keto, like everything that comes at you. It's like don't break your chi on your manifestation. Just like constant chi flow towards the vision. I don't know. GZ, like when you're manifesting a partner and it's like well, dating, sorry.
Yeah, yeah. I'm manifesting dates.
Dates.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So what would it look like for you to have this constant flow towards that?
Oh, Well, maybe that's true, like, right? So the topic of conversation turns to that. And that is actually part of my manifestation is like the things that I can do that I have control over, which is letting my friends know that I'm available for dates with their friends or people that they know that might be like in the right categories. And this is what I want, like. And it's keeping it kind of at the top of the queue, keeping it in my world, in my worldview. Yeah, I was at the store the other day and I saw that book Attached that I was telling you about attachment styles. So I was thinking about attachment styles and then I changed my manifestation on this thing also to say I have a secure attachment style and I date hot, smart, secure guys.
Yeah, I like that you
So,
were saying is always keeping it up on the queue and like maybe we're being too like practical, but like the queue is part of manifestation is like what's your top of your priority list is what you're manifesting essentially. And so like keeping it up there is part of keeping the flow going towards it, you know? Um yeah, so like if you're like I want a boyfriend and then like 10 days later like I want a boyfriend, is like is that really like a constant flow towards it? No. Like you kind of have to like raise it up in priorities daily.
yeah. And I think that, like we were saying before, it's like tweaking the manifestation. And for me, for the manifestation sentence that I like literally write in my journal every single day. And like I just said, what it is now, I feel great about that sentence now, like, and it does make me, I feel that, like, oh yeah, I have a secure attachment style and I date hot, smart, secure guys. Like, yeah, it makes
But
me
you
feel
added something to it that makes it even more interesting to think about, kind of thing. Like,
And pushes in the direction of what kind of a relationship or partnerships or whatever, and what kind of interactions I want to have.
Right. And each time you write that, because you probably write it over and over again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Each time you write it, you could be more refined,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with good breath, and the part that works. And, each time you just add something that is more in line with your vision.
that's yeah. So like with the beads thing, it's like I'm securely attached to my vision of having a bead store, right? And it's like so now it's like the beads are in my priority of our episode today, and they'll be in my priority tomorrow. And I was like realizing like I just gotta talk about beads every day for a year, and like my bead store will be popping, right? But it's like because it's like I have to flow at it again and again. But okay, look at these cool beads. You guys, don't these just jangle and
They
don't
do.
they they're so beautiful, these
Oh,
beads.
They're
nice.
nice
Yeah.
color. I like the colors. They're a little off orange and off turquoise. I like them.
These are all Leo beads, they're orange beads. And then these are Capricorn beads because they're brown beads. And then
Mm-hmm.
these are Gemini beads because they're blue.
Huh.
Anyway,
Oh,
but it's like just me loving beads so much daily. It's gonna just gonna radiate a love of beads around us, And it's like, but if I showed you guys beads once and then was like that was all I said, like would anything happen with beads? Like no.
No.
So persistence is part of manifestation, don't you think?
Yeah.
look at me.
Oh my God, look at your beads.
See, these are the beads that you sent to me recently.
Make
Oh,
you
that's great.
happy?
Yeah, yeah. And so, but that's the thing too. It's like your consistency in like making the beads and sending the beads. See, look. And then we have the beads and then we show the beads and people see them.
Look,
Uh,
Lumiere, your beads match my shirt, and you and I
They
are birthday twins. We
they
are
are
black and
we
white stripes.
our birthday. Wait a minute. I have to move them this way in order for them to match.
Yeah, yeah. That's so cool. But
yeah.
yeah, the beads are everywhere. See that? And that's like, I feel like persistence is the lesson that we're, one of the lessons we're learning today is like, never give up on your dreams,
Oh, determination.
needle the world with your dreams.
Heal the world. Stop with your dreams already. Leave me alone.
Oh,
No,
shit.
but it's too, it's like everyday little things, not once in a while huge things.
Right. That's a little tough for me sometimes.
That's a really good point. It's like pepper the world with your manifestation as opposed to just like making a vision board once and then being done with it. It's better to like spice it out, like we put your manifestation in a salt shaker and like put it on your food every meal.
Buster Keaton, one of my heroes, um, film heroes, said that what he disliked about some people like Abbott and Costello was that they didn't, they weren't, they didn't, they just wanted to know what to wear when they had to show up for something. He said, when we work on a film, when he worked on a film, we live with it. We breathe it every day. They're thinking about it all the time. He and his crew, when they're filming, not filming, he said, we just lived with it until it was done. And I think that's kind of what manifestation is. I think that artistic projects go well when you live with it. And almost everything Keaton made was brilliant.
That's a really good lesson for today. It's like eat, sleep, and breathe your manifestation. Like with your dreams, like don't go hard on your dreams. Like never give up on it even for a second. And a lot of the manifestation stuff we've been reading about is like repetitiveness is like you repeat it morning, noon, and night, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you whatever that one we read where it says don't tell anybody, but you're still supposed to write it 3 times a day. I mean, so maybe that's one of the keys here is like constancy and obsession is part of what works, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, to put it on and wear it is not just thinking about, that's the difference between, oh, I should really fix that fence someday. That's completely different.
Hmm.
Putting on a dream and wearing it is a completely different thing. And I think philosophically, what to just keep thinking about it over and over and over again. I want a guy who does this. I want a guy who does this. And before you know it, that person comes to life in your head, and then you'll recognize them when you meet them, because that's the person that I manifested, that I thought about.
Hmm. Yeah, this is a really good lesson actually in perseverance and obsession and determination and constancy and like it's like, dreamers are not wimps. Like visionaries are actually some of the toughest people like people who make their vision a reality. Like to think like I'm gonna write an album someday is very different than like writing an album tenaciously day by day, constantly, one note at a time, and it's like everything is done one little piece at a time. So, do you guys think we
So,
should stop there? Or go ahead.
okay, Jay-Z, you write in you have a journal of some kind. I downloaded this thing called, I think it's diarrhea. It looks like diarrhea. I think it's diarrhea.
That's an unfortunate branding.
Yeah, I know. It's Diarrhea.
Ah,
So
diarrhea.
I started writing
Diarrhea?
diarrhea, um, but it does look like diarrhea. Um, I started writing I intend in the evenings because my mornings are hectic. So for the next day, I wrote I intend. What is it that you start with?
Well, you're at what I used as a stepping stone. So in the book also it was like first like I want, and then
Yeah,
he says I want something. Well, say I intend to, and that's like firmer, right? It makes you feel
yeah.
really good. I've moved from that to I decree that.
I decree.
Well, it's
Yeah.
interesting. He says in the book, and we haven't gotten to this yet, but there's something called pre-paving, which is when you have an experience coming up, like a work shift, where you say, I intend to have a good work shift. That's pre-paving the way to a good manifestation. So that's like a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, but that is good.
But
I
yeah.
That's,
decree. Yeah, the book said I intend, so I started writing that.
yeah,
And I thought
that is good.
it suited my needs. You
Hmm.
know, this this is what I hoped would happen.
What do you intend, Lumiere?
Oh, I have a list. I haven't been doing it lately, truth be told, but and I haven't actually done it since the 20th of December. But I intend for uh I have wishes for the boys, I have wishes for me, I have wishes for my creativity, for life. I should probably wish for money, but I don't.
You
You know,
crusty punk.
you
You're such a crust punk.
That's the next chapter, though.
yeah, the next
We haven't
chapter.
gotten to the money, money, money chapter.
Oh, is that in
It's
oh
in
yeah, that's what
Yo.
money, money, money. I'm not going to end up in the $3 million house with Fern unless I start thinking about money.
That's right. If you want to move in with Fern, get your mind on it. Put it in your
Yeah,
pepper shaker.
the house
Decree
that
it so.
I'm looking at has 7 bedrooms.
Whoa. That's almost enough for all my husbands.
All my husbands. There's a book title. There's a band name.
It's our 50th band we're in.
So
Right.
you could be the lead, and then whoever the guys are could change all the time.
No,
All my husbands.
I'm a commitment artist. Come on now.
Oh, that's right. Okay, sorry.
All right, you guys. Well, it's been another great episode. I think we're getting our calibration of talking down. Lumiere's starting to talk a little more, and this is what we need.
Well, it was great fun. Can I ask you if I wanted to recommend somebody watching this, where what's the title of it? What do you call it?
It's just on my YouTube channel. It's like, excuse me, your
Okay.
life is waiting.
Oh, it's under excuse me. Okay.
I think it might be under the manifestation playlist that we have on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
No. But yeah, if you ever need it, text me and I can text you the link or something.
I could find it.
Okay.
I just needed to know what to look for.
All right, you guys, I
It's been
love you.
great.
Okay,
Hanging out with you guys.
Andy, before we go, I decree that you send me the music to AF Lydian so that we can we can record that song together.
Okay, I will do that when we hang up.
I will
All
see
right.
you guys Sunday.
All right. I decree that you'll be there Sunday.
Good. I decree that too.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.